What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Life with CNE. We're here on episode number 2. Last episode, we were talking about stages in relationships, and today we want to cover just a little more. Maybe not on that topic, of course. We're going to jump onto something new. But man, today has been a long day. It's been exhausting, and it's been stressful.
Yeah.
Why has it been for you?
Work.
Work?
Work and
Work got you stressed out?
just been up and down.
Yeah, a lot of driving, huh?
No driving.
You do drive a lot.
Yeah, I do.
I give you props for that. I can't stand traffic. I hate traffic. One thing about me is I cannot do traffic. I don't mind driving, but if we're going like bump to bump, I can't do it. I'm not a traffic type of guy.
Me either, but I have to do it. I get paid to do it.
You do get paid to do it.
Yes.
But anyway, let's jump in. I actually wanted to share a little story if you don't mind. Dominic's little
Depends.
story.
Oh,
The
okay.
one that I told you about
Oh,
earlier.
yeah,
I think it's a pretty cool story, and I wanted you guys to hear it out. It's a little inspiring, but it's more of a I would say like a parenting, maybe you would call it, and it's probably something that not a lot of parents will probably agree on. But anyway, so
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah, it depends
Depends how
probably
you
how you
look
look
at
at it. My 9-year-old, there was a conference today at school, and turns out teacher had a little story about something he did in the beginning of the year. Teacher never spoke or anything because it wasn't a big deal. She handled it. But point is, my oldest son, Dominic, beginning of the year, cafeteria lunchtime, and you had other classes of his, in 4th grade, by the way, other 4th grade classes, I guess, were having this carrot fight and were throwing carrots at each other, within each other, right? And my son's class was the only one that was like left out. So they were all just there. They were not throwing no carrots. I think they were sitting a little bit further out, and the all carrot war was going on this side. So point is, the janitors and they were all trying to break it off and getting involved. And then I guess people were throwing from those classes. Those kids were throwing carrots at my son's class, and nobody was really reacting. So my son had a little moment where he pretty much like snapped and said, "I'm throwing carrots back." He pretty much had it, and he just snapped and he started throwing carrots back, and he was the only one. That's why he got in trouble, because he was the only one from his class. So when the teacher got there and whatnot, and their class got in trouble, everybody was like, "We didn't throw carrots." But there was one person in that class that did, and that was Dominic. So, but what I love about the story is that Dominic himself was the one that pretty much turned himself in. He told the teacher, "I'm the one that started throwing the carrots from our class to the other classes. Nobody else did it." And, it takes a lot for a 4th grader, he's 9 years old, to do something like that. Most kids, when they get in trouble, they do not want to, get in trouble. They do not want to, let's call it, snitch on themselves, face the consequences. So when the teacher told me that, I was a little impressed, because I'm like, wow, because I tell him all the time, do not lie. I don't care what it is, how bad it is. Even if I get upset during the moment, I'd rather have you be honest, and if you do something, tell me. And many times I've caught him, and I think that's why he had that built in him, that he said, "You know what, I did it. None of my class, nobody threw a carrot. I got my class in trouble because I threw the carrots," And what he did, he wrote on a letter to the janitors that were breaking it off, and during the hot mess, and he apologized in the letter to them. "I'm sorry, for getting my class in trouble for throwing the carrots."
That was so cute.
And the craziest part is the janitors, they never had anybody do that, where they apologize in a letter and give it directly to them. He handed it straight to the janitor. So now they put that letter of the apology letter from Dominic in their lunch break. So it's hanging in there, because all the janitors love it, and they think it's so cute and adorable how, this 4th grader did that, took initiative, responsibility for his actions, and did that. So he gained huge respect from them. Not only that, from his teacher as well, because his teacher was not upset at the situation after she saw how he stood up for what he did, his actions. So she got emotional, and it's like I love that about him, you know. So after I had that talk with him, and to me it was more of like a proud moment as well. I know throwing the carrots is not the best thing to do, but I think what I take pride in is that he stood up for his class. And I always tell him, stand up for the people you love, stand up for your little brother, you know, like you're here to protect. We're lions, we're here to protect. So I think that's what hit his mind. Like, he saw that no one was standing up, no one was fighting and defending back, and the whole class, his class where they're sitting down, is just getting carrots thrown at him, and he's just like, I had enough. Like, if no one's gonna stand up, I'm gonna do it. And that's what he did. So I actually told him, I'm proud that you did that, you know, and don't ever stop doing that. And right after, he apologized and said, I had to do what I had to do. And I love that about my son, that he's 9 years old, and I tell him that all the time, like, take action, take responsibility as well, but stand up for what's yours, stand up for what you believe in, you know. And I feel like the more we push that on him as life goes on, it's gonna make him into a great leader. It's gonna make him to never give up. It's gonna make him to stand up, not just for himself, but stand up for others. You know, like, he was only one out of 30 kids in his class to, you know, get up there and said, I had enough. And we need people like that in this world, especially right now. Like, we need more people to stand up and say, I had enough with everything going on, you know. So
they're not gonna wait for everybody else to do something, and they just like take initiative.
They take initiative, they stand up. If they're not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You know, he might get in trouble, but he's willing to take the heat, take the blame, as long as it's for that good cause to make a change. You know what I mean? Like, now other kids are gonna recognize him, like, that guy threw carrots back at us. You know, he builds that respect starting from that 4th grade. Not only that, but he's building himself to always stand up for his, you know. So it's very important, you know. It's how you look at things. Again, it has both pros and cons, obviously. Throwing carrots back is not the best thing to do, but, you know, as a father, that's still a very, very proud moment, you know, because it's showing, you know, what I'm building, you know, so, or who I'm developing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share that story with everybody. I mean, maybe some parents out there can take some of this, and, you know, what you feed your children, you know, it's really powerful, you know. Like, that's our next generation, our next leaders. I mean, even talk about Junior. If we talk about my youngest, you know, he's in 1st grade, 6 years old, and this one kind of blew me away as well, because you know, like, so this one kind of, and I'll put it on here too, this one blew me away, because the teacher said that out of all the students in the class, Junior, my little one, 6 years old, is the only one that says thank you and you're welcome and please. And it's like, man, like, it kind of like, it scares me in a way where, like, we're headed to think that, you know, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, like, all of our kids are going to be the next generation. So it's like, it's really important what, you know, the foundation we're building our kids since they are young, you know. And the craziest part is when the teacher said, your 6-year-old Junior, it's already a role model, because the kid to the left and to the right now are starting to say, please, thank you, you're welcome, you know. And she also said, I'm surprised because Junior opens the door for everybody, you know. And he's the only one that does that, you know, because I teach him that always open the door at a restaurant, car doors, whatever, open the door for other people. And he's doing that in his class, and he's the only one. And now kids are following along. So even as a 6-year-old, he's becoming a role model to other 6-year-olds as well, you know. So it's really important. Like, these little things are things that, as parents, you know, we take big pride in, you know, like what we teach since the very beginning.
Yeah, well, you've been doing a good job, because I feel like both of your boys, like, they even open the door for me. Like,
they do.
They're so sweet. Sometimes he forgets, and they take initiative and they open.
I don't forget. They just beat me to it.
But I think it's cute because they, like, if they try to beat him to it on purpose, so they could laugh at him and be like, Dad, you forgot to open the door.
Yeah, but I don't forget.
Sometimes.
No, I know. I'm probably busy. I'm probably in a phone call or something.
Okay. But yeah, they're cute. They're well mannered, and I see the work that you put into like making sure that they're disciplined. How do you say that? Like well mannered
Yeah.
boys. Like I
Yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
and it's not easy because you constantly have to remind them because they're kids. You know,
Yeah.
like they forget. So, good job to you.
Thank you. High five. So on that topic, I think what we're gonna cover is consistency. You know, we'll cover that today because consistency is important. As you guys saw, the two little stories I just explained, it goes into kids, it goes into parenting, it goes into relationships, it goes into business, it goes into your job. Like you could get hired at a job, you know, and you're on fire the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, but then after that may wear out. You know, you hit that point where it's like you either something happened at work, you're working too much, something happens and you get worn out a little bit, and that consistency will start to wear off. So when that happens, that's when you gotta know, like, okay, like turn it back on, you know,
Yeah.
because later on you're gonna catch yourself in maybe in the same position with the same pay, not improving, not moving up, and then we tend to tell ourselves like why haven't I got promoted? Why am I still at this wage? Why am I still here? But we forget that along the way there was a point where we stopped being consistent and performing the same way we did when we first got hired. You know, I've seen that plenty of times. I was a general manager, and I used to always see that with staff.
Like the excitement in the beginning,
The
and then
excitement.
after
Yeah, exactly.
complacency.
Yes, and then you know you take it on to your own business. It's the same thing. You gotta be consistent, and the same energy, the same fire you had in the beginning when you first started that business, you gotta continue that along the way. Cause let me tell you, you're gonna hit that bump where something's gonna happen. It's gonna get tough, and you're gonna like want to quit. You're gonna want to give up. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know, or you're just getting burnt out because when you first start your business, you gotta put in extra hours. And many times you're doing already your regular job plus your business, you know, so you're trying to make it work. And as you're doing that, you get worn out. Like it happens all the time. So when that starts to happen, you have to like bring that fire back. You have to remember that what made you start that business in the first place? What made you, you know, pursue something else? What made you like, I want extra income? You know what? I want to take my life to another level. You have to bring that fire back to bring that consistency, because if not, it's gonna wear out. And as soon as that consistency on your business and with your business, you need it the most, because if that wears out, your sales wear out, and if your sales wear out, your everything's gonna wear out. You know what I'm saying? So you need to remain consistent on your business, even when you don't see results coming in. That's when you gotta remain the most consistent. And people tend to give up because they don't see extra sales after they spend $100 on marketing. They don't see extra sales after they just bought a couple new items in their inventory. And they right away stop being consistent. Continue to push and continue to deliver even more. And I promise you, you're going to see those results. Consistency doesn't lie. Consistency, you know, gives results. So now putting that in relationships, like I've probably been talking a lot. So let me ask you, like,
You have been.
I have been talking.
No,
I
that's
talk a
good.
lot.
That's good though, because
You're a little nervous. So I'll let
Yeah,
you
I'm
take it on.
nervous.
You know, I talked a little bit about consistency on like having a business, on a job, and even a little bit on kids. And we'll probably come back and talk about consistency on kids as well. But I want to let you like put your input when it comes to why consistency is so important in a relationship.
Well, first of all, because we all know that relationships, like in the beginning, it's all rainbows and unicorns and like it's all good, but because in the beginning, I feel like everyone puts their best,
Same thing.
right? Like
Their
in the
best
beginning,
efforts. Yeah. They're fired up.
They're fired up.
Juiced.
And, like, I need this guy. Like, he's so cute. He's like everything I want. Like, I need him. So it's like I feel like
And vice versa.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, we put our, what did I say right now? Like we put our all our energy to that. And then as we start getting to know
we
the
go
person,
above and beyond.
yeah, we go above and beyond. And so like as like time goes, we kind of get comfortable like it's kind of like, oh well, he loves me, we're already together, so like, I don't really have to do my hair because he's still like, he loves me either way. And just like little things like
And
that.
that could go both ways, because like you just said, as a woman, like it takes you a while to get ready, do your hair, you know.
Yeah.
So after you find that little comfort, it's so easy to just be like, oh, like we're just gonna go to the store. It's okay. Like I'm gonna go like this, right? And then that can continue to build, like, because it'll make you more comfortable. You're gonna feel like, oh, he's not judging me. It's okay, you know. And there's nothing wrong with like not getting ready, going to the store,
Yeah,
or
like-
feeling like, really comfortable, no makeup, no hair with your partner.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great thing actually.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
beyond great. Like I love that I can just be walking around and without my shirt, some basketball shorts, whatever. It's dope. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you have to also make sure that you control that, because if you go like a full month without like doing your hair, putting some makeup on, and going to dinner, and getting dolled up, and the guy, like, we just get dressed up and looking nice, it's gonna put you in a position where like eventually you don't even want to do it anymore. It can happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like on the guys area as well, like we in the beginning try a lot. Again, we go above and beyond. We want to show like everything we are, and I feel like sometimes some guys show a version of themselves that's not even who they are,
Yeah.
just by trying to get that right person, right?
Yeah.
Like we go to certain restaurants, maybe we go, like, we're just blowing our money. And I think that's a huge topic as well when it comes to controlling that, because a lot of guys will go that extra mile above and beyond to impress the woman,
But they don't have it like that.
and they don't have it like that.
Oh,
So when they get with their partner, eventually that money's gonna wear out. Like if there's no more money coming in, like the truth is gonna come out. So it's important to like not show a version that it's not you. You know what I mean? Like give a version that is you, like the real you, because eventually your girl's gonna leave if she finds out, like, why are you being somebody you're not? You know what I mean? Like, so you have to, since the beginning, just be real, be yourself. And if that girl likes you for you at wherever you work, for what you do, for where you live, then she's gonna love you every step as you continue to level up. Every step above that, it's gonna be even more amazing, because she's gonna be with you along the way. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So I mean, how do you balance that in the beginning? Like, everyone does that. Like they take out their whoever they're dating and really like to all these like expensive places, right?
I honestly, like, you really like have to be straight up. Like how
like like
Good.
how?
Well, I mean, be straight up since the beginning. Like you can't like take this girl to like let's say, for example, you make, I don't know, $4,000 a month. Okay, let's say that's your income as a guy, whatever it is. You can't be taking this girl to Las Vegas one weekend and then I don't know, go to Alaska next weekend and then go to these restaurants, like, you know what I'm saying, like. And then she asks, what do you do for a living? And then like you tell her, and it's like it's not gonna match up. It's not gonna align. So and especially if you're not being honest, like she's gonna know you're either doing something else on the side, or you just
You're just irresponsible.
You're just irresponsible. But that wears out. So in the beginning, it's important to talk about each other's like goals and vision as well, because as a woman, she's gonna know where your mind is at. If you're constantly like just blowing the money, going to the club or going here, going to these places, and she doesn't see more money coming in, she doesn't see like, oh, okay, like we're doing these adventures, but you're making X amount, and she doesn't see anything like in that area, then again, eventually, like those are like red flags, because you're either doing something else, or like eventually, like it just shows he doesn't have his finances in order.
Yeah.
And by that, it's gonna like show like, okay, we're not gonna be able to do anything. Like if I get with this guy, you know, like eventually he doesn't know how to control money.
He's irresponsible.
He's irresponsible. You
He's
know,
gonna bring down our whole household.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just in debt.
Exactly. We're like, we're gonna go backwards, you know. So you have to be straight up, and if you don't got it, like, you know what, like, and you want to go out, like, hey, you know what? How about this week we just stay in, we grab some pizza, we watch some movies, and then I get paid next Friday. Like next Friday, let's go, you know, to this restaurant. You know, like since the beginning, just be straight up, like. And if you live a little further out, or if you guys want to go something, just be straight up. You know what, like. I got some bills stacked up, like, or I got this going on, like, you know what, I'm gonna wait, like, let's wait 2 more paychecks or something. Like, you giving that version of you, she's gonna know, like, you're on top of your stuff. Like, you're paying your bills, you're putting your priorities in front before you have that extra little have fun or luxury. So that shows this man is in control of his life.
But that depends though. Like if you tell the wrong girl, like, and she's just interested in the money, then she's gonna see you as like, damn, this guy's a cheap ass.
Yeah, she's gonna see you like you're broke. Yeah. So it depends on who.
Yes, and then if it's a girl that's like, you know, like serious, like she respects a man that's like prioritizes his finances, then I think that girl's gonna be like, oh damn, like she's gonna be so attracted by the way that,
of course,
like you're so straight up and your honesty and how you handle your finances. Yeah, so that's really important. But also I think like being straight up forward in the beginning, not being too cheap either. But like
no,
being
of course not. But just being straightforward.
Yeah.
I was just throwing some crazy examples, but just being you at the end of the day is what I mean, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not saying be extra cheap about it, you know, of course.
Dollar menu.
Yeah, we ain't shopping no dollar menu. There is actually, with inflation, there's no more dollar menu. Like that just gone. Like, nah, it's, you know, but let's be real. Things, you know, like where we're at, not everybody is making huge amount of money, you know. So of course we want to make that good impression, but stay in your area.
Yeah.
Like, you know, depending on what you make, like you're not gonna go to a restaurant where you're gonna get a $700 bill, you know, and you're only making 3-4K a month. You get what I'm saying? Like, and you got your bills. Like, stay in your area. You could take a girl out to a nice restaurant, spend $100, 150, get some drinks, some good food. You know what I mean? And that's still like a good restaurant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Or not even that. Like, you could even go to a theme park or something. Like, the movie theaters is not too expensive.
Yeah, just find things like that, you know, like, okay, like this shows I'm not too cheap, you know, but it's still like within my income area. You get what I'm saying? And she'll love that because, again, even though you're not telling her the prices, even though like you're not showing that version yet, but I think as a woman, you're gonna know kind of like what restaurant you're in. You're kind of gonna know like what you guys are doing for fun, and if you guys are having a good time, you're getting to know each other, you're laughing, like it's even better. You know what I mean? Rather than you taking her somewhere and spend $400 or $500 on a bill, that just shows like he just trying to impress. You know?
Yeah.
But again, it goes on who you're trying to get with. Of course, you have the guys that are trying to get just with those girls. Then okay, there's some girls just care about the money. You know, then great, that's a whole different story. But I think what we're saying is more to that guy that is trying to get just, you know, with this, you know, real humble girl that they just want a relationship. Like, you don't have to go too extreme. Like, you're not gonna put her on a helicopter and take a tour around Dubai when you don't got it like that. You know what I mean? Like, like let's get real, you know. So, but either way, let's get back to consistency. We kind of went off flow. We talk a lot, but if we jump back to consistency, I think one important thing for sure is like those things that you did in the beginning of the relationship, never stop doing them, you know, because like we said, we can get comfortable, you know, and we have to just control that comfort level. Because if we just let that comfort go and go and go and go, eventually it will become a problem. And it can actually even break your relationship getting way too comfortable. Because with time, if you just never get ready anymore, well, that guy is gonna wanna see that girl that he would always get ready in the beginning. Like he hasn't seen you wear makeup, he hasn't seen you do your hair, he hasn't seen you put a nice dress, and it's been 3-4 months. Like he might want to see that, and vice versa. Gentlemen, like don't like get trimmed down, get a haircut. Like don't look bummy for like 2 months. Like
just got your haircut.
you know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, it goes back to who that girl got with. If you got with that guy that just has long hair and is bummy and trashy, then that means that girl likes that style, right? Like she got with him in the beginning, So, but it's just continue to do that, like the same habits that you guys do in the beginning, like buy the flowers, take her on date nights, do these little
Which
things,
you still do.
which I still do. I don't stop. Again, we have our priorities that we're doing, and right now we're working on a couple of things, so for the better, for great, for amazing actually. But regardless of that, I still prioritize it. We have our day, either a Thursday, Friday night. We do our thing, whatever it is. Sometimes it could be on a Tuesday, Sunday. It doesn't matter, but we get it in there, and we don't stop doing what we're doing. The flowers still come your way, like I still
died, actually.
Well,
so
they just, the recent ones just died.
I needed some flowers.
But that goes to show that they just died. Okay, they're recent.
Yeah,
she'll get a
that's
new
true.
she'll get a new set pretty soon.
I know.
You'll
You're so
get a
good at
new
that.
set. So just continue.
Okay, but can I ask you something?
Ask away.
Okay, do you feel like there's one thing that you stopped doing, like since the beginning, like from the beginning of the relationship? Because I have. I feel like yesterday I realized something.
From me or from you?
From me.
You.
And then you could go next, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, for me, I noticed yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't know exactly what day. I think it was yesterday that I feel like I in the beginning I would tell you how much I appreciated you, like send you like long text messages of like how I appreciate everything you do, because I really do. And I feel like I stopped doing that, and I don't know, I forgot what happened that made me realize that. And I think you told me something, and it kind of clicked in my head, like, wow, I feel like I haven't showed you appreciation lately, and so that, like, it made me kind of go back and be like, oh my god, like, what am I doing? I feel like I've been getting so comfortable because I have you here, and like, you always do cute things for me, so it's starting to be like kind of something like normal.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like,
so let me ask you something. Do you recommend, like, maybe for the guys not to do some of these things like as often, or what do you think as a woman? Like, because you just said you're getting used to it. So do you think if a guy, and you guys feel free to comment if we want everybody's input, do you think as a woman, if you receive too many flowers, if you receive too many cute messages, if you receive too many like breakfast in bed every day, if you receive too many of your man cooking for you, like if you receive everything, all these cute little things, do you think as a woman with time you'll get too comfortable and too used to it that you'll stop appreciating it?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, like too much of that, because I think it's sweet, especially if you're doing it very, like, genuinely and because you love your partner. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think as a person though, as like me, I kind of have to, like, I feel like I have to do my part and like show you appreciation in that. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you should definitely do it. Like,
do you think you should maybe give it a little pause? Like, would you recommend like a guy to, like, no, don't stop, continue to do it like as you please? Or what do you say, what do you give a guy watching this video and advice as in, like, maybe wait a little bit so she realizes like, oh, he hasn't done it, and then out of nowhere, like, the guy does it, like, what do you think? Do you think the guy should wait just a slightly bit so she can remember and then it'll be more meaningful, or just continue to do what you do?
Well, I think it depends, because like there's things that you have to go out of your way to like show her appreciation, like the flowers thing. You can't buy me flowers every other freaking day.
Of course not.
Like, that's coming out of your way. But I think like maybe once a month surprise me with it, like,
okay,
you get me, like once a month, like, oh my god, like, I think it'll be more like, oh my god, like he bought me flowers. Like I didn't think he was gonna bring them for me, and he actually
Right.
did. You get me?
Right.
Instead of like having a routine, like, oh, he's gonna bring me flowers Monday because it's already the second week.
Yeah.
You get
Okay.
me? So I
So
think like switching it up.
switching it up. So then I think give it a little break, right? Like a little
Yeah,
small
like
pause.
a little one. Like a little one.
So throw her off guard. You know, throw curveballs.
Yeah.
That's probably
But
what
don't
it
stop being sweet. 'Cause
No, I don't mean
he's
stop
so
being sweet.
Like he cooks for me and like he brings me flowers, massages my hair, like all that. I think it's like
And your
really
feet.
sweet, and my feet, and sends me money for my nails and puts gas in my car. And takes
Oh,
my
I
car.
filled it up, by the way.
I know, thank you. And takes my car to the mechanic. Like I think that's all. Keep doing that. If you're going out of your way, like you don't have to do that every day. Like if it's things that are going out of your way, you could do that like, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but still always stay consistent.
Yeah.
Always stay consistent. I think
Yes.
being consistent is one of the hardest things. Again, it's a harder thing to do with jobs, with business, and you know, I got two boys, so with kids, it's being consistent. It's super hard, you know, because it wears you out. You got your work. You got, if you're doing some sort of online school, you got your school. If anybody has a side hustle, you know, and then you got your house and you got to maintain,
Gym.
clean. And if you're in, you know, gym, your health, and you got that. So to still raise kids and
your
and-
social life.
and your social life, that you have
Yeah.
everything at one, which is sometimes you don't have time for social life, but you know, it can get overwhelming, you know, raising kids and doing everything else. So, but at the end of the day, like those rewards and those little moments that come sometimes, that you're like, man, like I did this. Like, you know, like if it wasn't for my consistency, you know, on raising these kids and feeding them this and giving them this information and telling them not to do this, or, you know, make sure you're always on top of this and never stop, like eventually, like that's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
You know, as they grow up, you're gonna see more and more of who they are becoming, and that's because you did that. Us as parents, we take responsibility. You know, like our kids are a reflection of ourselves. And at the end of the day, sometimes we tend to blame our kids for doing certain things, but we forget they're under our supervision. They wake up to us, they go to sleep to us. And during the day, they may not be here, but at the end of the day, it's all on us, what we tell them, how we guide them. So always remain consistent with your job, with your kids, you know, with your business and your relationship, because remaining consistent is what will bring results. It's hard, and no matter how hard it gets, continue to do it. You know, and I already have the topic for, you know, next week's drop. So
Alright.
I already got it. You know, it's gonna be exciting. Anything else you wanna touch up on before we end this video on consistency?
No, just basically that consistency is everything. That we should, just be consistent with everything, because at the end of you know, let's say like working out and stuff, eating healthy, like it's all gonna bring a reward at the end, you know, and
Okay. Cool. So that's it. That wraps it up. This was a little bit of a longer video, and we touched up a lot, but I hope some of you guys were able to pick, you know, something good off this video and implement it into your daily lives with your kids, with your business, you know, with your
significant other.
Yes,
mother.
and if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. You know, if you are following us on TikTok, we also have a TikTok, so you could always message us and we'll do our best to respond. But other than that, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for next week's video. Peace.